Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin here from Clearfork Academy out in Fort Worth, Texas, where we treat adolescent boys 13 to 18 years old who are struggling with mental health and substance abuse issues. We get this question all the time with parents is like, okay, now they're off drugs, now they're this, now they're that. Like, do we make them stop smoking their vape? Like, do we pick that battle, right? And so I think the answer is yes. And here's why. Is I think there's like five sort of risk factors, right? Number one is the chemicals that are in the vapes, right? Like we know from the old Marlboro commercials that, cigarettes are harmful, right? But like the heavy metals and the chemicals and the things that the FDA is trying to regulate and not doing such a good job at are still in those, in the smoke vapors that come into the body. And so, number one is just really the unknown substances. It's not organic compounds, right? Like I'm not advocating for the old tobacco leaves, but right, at least that's an organic compound that we can see and touch and feel. And so the chemicals, number one. Number two is the illicit substances that can be vaped in those devices. And so we see a lot of kids, oh yeah, mom, it's just nicotine. Oh yeah, it's just this, it's just that, it's bubblegum flavor, whatever it is. But there's really so many other things that are going into those pods and the gels and stuff like that kiddos can grab illicit substances like THC in a very, very high concentrated level and mask the smell and mask the use over and over and over and over and over. And so when we have the same repetitive mechanism for the same substance, it's very, very easy to abuse those things. Number three, is vaping impacts the developing brain. And we know that nicotine in large amounts is very, very damaging to a young man's brain. And so the neurotransmitters, all those things get retarded or slowed down or broken during that development process when chemicals are introduced. We know that tobacco is just as or more addictive than heroin and cocaine, right? The nicotine receptors in the brain go crazy once we initiate that. And so the prolonged use really affects the brain. Number four is the long-term lung damage. We see kiddos with shortness of breath, coughing, wheezing, these really, really early onset sort of COPD type of symptoms in adolescence, right? When our lungs should be clear, our lungs should be pure. All of those things are really affecting the lower parts of the lung and the deep breathing side of those organs. So, man, it's tough on those lungs. Number five, vaping is a marketer's dream, right? You've got this sleek pod, you've got, there's competitions, there's all of these things. And so the misconception, I think the visibility and the misconception that it's not dangerous is one of the biggest risk factors for our kiddos these days. And so they see it as harmless, they see it as posh and cosmopolitan. They would never use those words, right? But it's the cool thing to do. And so, man, and they don't realize the harm. And so we have to protect our kids from those five things. And if you got a kiddo you think is using other substances or needs some mental health help, reach out to us. Go to clearforkacademy.com. We'd love to chat with you, help educate on what we see on a daily basis of what's struggling or what our kids are struggling with. So thank you. Have a great day.